Good morning, Wrestling Inc. Welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily. It is me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here for our very first Fun Friday live in Technicolor here on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms. And I am joined here, as I am every Friday, by our very good friend, Christy Olson. Christy, welcome to the Wrestling Inc. Daily live.
Yay! Thank you so much, Nick. I have been amped for this all week long. And so far, my expectations are high. I'm not disappointed. So hello, everybody. Please join us live.
Yeah, Christy's expectations are high. I'm a little wait, no, sorry. I'm good to go. It's Friday. It's a fun Friday. Whatever. Yeah. Have a beer, get a margarita in your hand. Who cares? We are going to have a great show here today. If you're listening in audio form, later on, after the news, you're going to hear Scott Fishman's interview with Katarina Waters, which is wonderful. Big fan of Katarina. If you're watching us live and in video form, as soon as we're done here today or shortly after, that'll be up over on the YouTube channel, so you can go take that interview in after the fact. We got it all here now in audio and video form. At the end of the show, we'll dive in the mailbag. We're going to look at what matches or match you're most excited about for WrestleMania Backlash. So very excited to talk about the pay-per-view. But also, before we get to the news, we have this great new feature. It's called the chat room, Christy. We get to engage.
It's over here, right?
Yes, over on that side. If you want to be a part of this show, if you have feedback, we're going to tackle a lot of big stories here today. If you have any feedback, you leave it over there. It's on the comment section on YouTube, or you can leave a comment on Facebook, Twitch, whatever. We have a master chat. We get it all. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. We'll throw some of your responses up on the screen as the show goes along. So awesome.
Yes, I love a live chat.
Yes. Hi, Ricky, Pratik, Eric, those of you that are engaged us so far. All right, well, let's get into it, man. I cannot wait to talk the news today. News you can use, news that'll leave a bruise. Fightful reporting that Zelina Vega, a.k.a. Taya Trinidad, she is headed back to WWE. She was at the Performance Center in Orlando on Thursday. Word is that Vega was at the Performance Center for some sort of filming with the company. It was revealed that that Vega was filmed walking to the Performance Center with Simone Johnson, the daughter of The Rock. There's no word on if this was some sort of supplemental footage being filmed or if there's a plan for Vega and Johnson. Social media posts from earlier this year indicate that Vega and Johnson are friends, and they've posed together for Aleister Black's Black Mass Clothing Company. And then we, after looking into this a little bit more, found out that Vega's return has actually been planned for a while now, even before WrestleMania 37. So I'm a little surprised. What's your reaction to this one, Christy?
Yes, 100% shocked when I read this on Wrestling Inc.
Yeah.
Was not expecting it. Also, it seemed to me that she had her sights 100% set on other things, right? I kind of thought we would see her in some movies, and there's some cosplay stuff. Obviously, there isn't any reason why she can't still do those things. But I think the bigger factor here is really she and Simone are very, very good friends. Longtime friends. And this stems from Thea's relationship with The Rock. We know that he's been detrimental in her career. She said that many times over the years. And so she's had a close relationship with his daughter for a long time. And I know when Simone was coming into NXT, Zelina was there for her. And I would not at all be surprised if WWE is pairing them together to work on screen. In fact, that would make a lot of sense. Like a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No, I know Simone might not be ready yet, but that's what this is telling me.
Yeah, I honestly thought that her and Andrade would wind up together on the Indies or AEW or Ring of Honor. I just thought with them both out there, I thought somebody was going to snag them up and package them together. So I'm surprised about that. But the other side of this is, Christy, you know how deeply I got into the unionization story when all of this was going down, right? Like I was talking to people that have represented UFC, union attempts, and I learned all about the NLRB and all this. With Taya coming back here, I mean, kind of the ultimate like money talks type deal, right? I would imagine the union talks, any talk of that is probably gone away. I'm not probably, definitely gone away. I think that's the other kind of story here that goes along with the report that Zelina and WWE obviously looking to work together again,
Right. And I think it's okay to be selfish sometimes. And that's a crusade that there are still others out there, Paige and some other people who are maybe still on that. I think you're right that it's probably dead in the water for now. I would also assume that she probably did get a pretty fat paycheck. I think there was some deliberate humiliation of her that went down at the end there. And I would bet that she was probably put through something very similar to what the superstars that were released recently were put through. And I think WWE probably went crawling back to her with their tail between their legs, which they don't do often. And if someone can make WWE bow down like that and sign you back after so unceremoniously kind of balling you up and throwing you away for an unbelievable reason. I mean, what a vindication for Thea. She's vindicated. I like it.
Vindicated, but it's also like, I don't know. I would be very interested to know what that climate is like, right? Because like you say, it does seem like they kind of had to crawl back to her a little bit, make her feel good. She obviously had her issues with the company as well. A big paycheck there, like you say, but I wonder what it's like, right? Like to be in that space. How long is that tenable before something, she gets a bad story, or I don't know,
Right. Well, we could assume that a lot of the stuff that was going on at that time where they were telling the talent that they couldn't do their YouTube channels and changing things with Cameo and all the things that Thea wanted to do. We know for a fact that Mark Carano, the head of talent relations at the time, was the liaison there. He was the messenger between talent and Vince in the office. So if a lot of that heat ended up kind of going on to Mark. We know he was really good at creating the most possible. If he's gone, maybe that bad juju is just gone.
Yeah. Very good point. Well, here, look, we got a super chat. Our first one, guys.
Yay!
Jenny Taylor. Great
Thank
work.
you, Jimmy.
Great.
Jenny.
Work. Jenny Taylor. Yeah. Great work as always. Do you know Jenny?
I don't know Jenny, but I like her already.
You reacted in a way where I was like, I think she might. But anyway, okay. Well, anyway, hey, Jenny.
Super chats get me excited.
Yeah, super chat. You can always super chat, even if you just want to say great work as always, Nick. Thank you. Great work as always, Nick. And Christy, right? Like that's what you say. So anyway, well, that's exciting. We've never had a super chat. Now we have. Also here, we had some feedback. Sergio Cardenas. Butchered that. Sorry, Sergio. He says, Gardenias. Wonder, since Zelina is back, wonder if towards the end of the year Andrade resigns with WWE. And yeah, like I said, I thought her and Andrade would wind up elsewhere, but with Charlotte kind of also posturing right now, I mean, I don't find it crazy to think that Andrade could be back in the fold by the end of the year. Sure, why not?
I think he could go back absolutely anytime he pleases, but he probably hasn't felt that freedom enough yet, right? Like, I think he's got to go out there and try a little bit. I would be surprised if he goes back this soon. Because again, I'm sure it's sort of an open invitation back when you're Mr. Charlotte Flair, which is cool because it's usually the other way around.
I also like this here from Braddock, Bandshade. Zelina coming back to WWE for Aleister Black Advocate. I mean, it does help that she gets to work with her husband again. That's very nice. But man, why not? I hate whatever he's doing right now. That book thing, it does nothing for me. Sure.
Yeah, but they've said a lot of times that the two of them working together just doesn't really seem to make sense. And they are a little bit more low key about their real relationship. So I don't know that would be the best route to take for them professionally or personally. And I think they know that.
All right. Well, we have another name that was spotted down at the Performance Center. The Observer saying that the Velveteen Dream has also been back at the Performance Center this week. It's interesting to note that he has been back at the PC because he had been away for some time. There's still no word on why Dream was at Raw this past Monday, or if WWE has plans to bring him back to to TV anytime soon. However, the new report indicates that he is back training at the Performance Center. He has not appeared on NXT TV since losing to Adam Cole on the December 23rd episode. I mean, this guy's a lightning rod. Triple H literally gets asked about Velveteen Dream. Is he still with the company on pretty much every NXT call? I don't get it. I think you put him back out there, you're going to get the same reaction you've gotten the last couple times you've tried to trot him out there. It's not going to be good.
I don't know. It's been a while. And fans seem to have kind of a fleeting memory, right? There's a lot going on in the world the last year or so. And I don't know that if they do it right, that he might not get a warm reception. Now, none of us could argue that Velveteen Dream had some maturing to do over the last few years. And I, as a viewer, am open to seeing him again and seeing if he has matured and if he is, I don't want to say deserving because that's me kind of putting my judgment on it, but to see if he seems worthy of, the WWE universe putting their faith back in him.
Sure. I think there's just a lot of unanswered questions about, what he did and like what his response to it has been. Because like WWE said they were going to like launch an investigation into it, I think, or something like that. Or they're like, we looked into it. I think fans would like to know what they found, right? To kind of But because Dream is never publicly he kind of deleted his Twitter account, I think, not long ago. Right. So I don't know. I think there's just a lot of lingering questions out there with fans about, how much this guy has owned up to kind of what he did and the circumstances around it. So I don't know,
Well, if Jackson Riker can be out there, I'm sure WWE thinks that Velveteen Dream deserves another chance too.
Let's see here. We have
I love this live chat. I can't even think because I'm just reading everybody's awesome thoughts.
Alonzo Smith here. Velveteen Dream would be a great addition to Raw. He's been in NXT forever. Yeah, I mean, maybe don't bring him back to NXT. Maybe trot him out on a Raw or SmackDown. Yeah. But I would have been, I think, I don't know. It's just, we're going back to live fans, Christy. We're going to go back to live fans. I think July, WWE's already looking at doing some shows here. And it would have been easier to mask Dream and rehabilitate him, kind of like what they did with Riddle, honestly, during the pandemic, where you can kind of control the audience, you can control the environment. I mean, now you see him, they've gotten to a point where he's with Randy Orton, which people finally are starting to click with that a little bit. So I don't really worry as much about Riddle getting that reaction in front of a crowd because of what they've done with him in this environment. Dream, though, I think it's a totally different package. You drop that guy out in front of a bunch of fans, I think you're going to get some real negative chance. So we'll see. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, I think we will see, because I think at least it's an indicator that they are going to do something with him soon.
Also, I guess that Ginny super chat was a rib, because I read it and I didn't realize it was like another word when you read your name all along. So
you got us, not Jenny Taylor.
Yeah.
Wow, that did take us way too long, Nick. It has been a long week.
Whatever.
Wow.
Whatever. We made money on it. Doesn't matter. All right. Well, enough about Dream and Zelina. Former WWE champion Batista is showing public support for Asuka once again. The Instagram account for WWE posted a clip of Asuka losing the non-title match on Raw to Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley. The Animal responded, called WWE out for the booking of Asuka, writing, "Seriously, jobbing out Asuka, rolling eyes emoji, WTF." That's what he wrote in the comments section. Of course, Sunday's WrestleMania Backlash is going to see Asuka, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair in a triple threat with the Raw Women's title on the line. Yeah, I want to say Asuka deserves better, but at the same time, she's had such a great run. She's been, I don't know. It's weird to me because she's so great. She's almost bulletproof. I don't think wins and losses really affect Asuka at this point. Okay. And she's been very giving. I mean, she's trying to help right now, I feel like, with Rhea and Charlotte. So I don't look at this necessarily as negatively, I think, as Big Dave does. But look, we're all very protective of Asuka. She is to be treasured, obviously. So.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And, I think maybe his reaction sort of indicates that they did do the right thing, because it was unexpected and, it's not kind of catering to fans and what we think is going to happen. But yeah, let's try to keep Asuka strong, man. Come on. It's Asuka. Also, I just love that Dave, A-list movie star as he is, he's probably sitting up in some house that's way up on the hill over here from me, 5 miles up the hill. You know what I mean? And he still is tuning in to Raw, SmackDown, whatever it is, every week and keeping his finger on the pulse. He's still genuinely interested in it. And I can just really appreciate that. I'm just dying to hear any thoughts that he has about the product.
Yeah. This is a pro Big Dave show. We like Dave. he says it does awesome things. Well, also PWInsider.com reporting that 2 pro wrestling veterans were working as guest coaches at the Performance Center in Orlando this week. Indie women's wrestling veteran Allison Danger was working as a guest coach. She's the younger sister to ECW original and current WWE producer trainer Steve Corino and has played a major role with Shimmer over the years. Squire David Taylor is also working as a guest coach. The former WWE and WCW star previously worked as a developmental trainer in 2001 and 2006. He's also known for his Blue Bloods tag team with NXT general manager William Regal. He also worked as a guest coach at the PC back in 2019. I don't know a whole lot about Allison Danger, though I am heartened to hear that there's good coaching going on with the women down there. But, man, I'm a big Dave Taylor fan. That's cool. Him and Regal were one of my favorite tag teams. And they even had a little run on SmackDown a decade ago that I enjoyed. So I was just happy.
Hey, maybe an NXT tag team one last match between the two with the two of them. You never know.
Yeah, man, I was just happy.
That would be a storyline if the GM gets involved in the action. Right?
Yeah. Hey, look, we got another super chat. Awesome.
I know.
Ryan Martins, keep up the great work, Nick. Wrestling Inc. is my go-to site for wrestling news, but do you have any information on Keith Lee? I'm concerned about him. Ryan,
I think we all are.
Thank you for the super chat. I don't know anything about Keith Lee. I've been asking around, and nobody has said anything to me about Keith Lee. I don't know if you've heard anything, Christy, or not.
I have not heard anything about Keith Lee. Wow. No.
Here's what we talked about earlier this week is he put up that tweet where he was in front of the NXT War Games cage. There is this cage match coming up on NXT this Wednesday between Bronson Reed and Johnny Gargano. Mm-hmm. I want to believe in my soul that Keith Lee is going to come in like Kane and rip that door off and beat up Johnny Gargano after I think he's going to beat Bronson Reed. But I could be wrong. But that's where the tea leaves fall for me at the moment, Christy.
And then you think that we'll see more of Keith Lee just back down at NXT?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's a kind of like Balor or like even Tyler Breeze. I think there's just some guys that they tried on the main roster that Vince just doesn't, for whatever reason, click with. But they were so good in NXT that there is still a spot for them. I don't know that that's true of everyone who graduates from NXT, but for someone like Keith, who was just so good down there, I absolutely think Keith will come back. I think he'll be a good addition to the show. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're right. That kind of makes me concerned for what about the future of NXT when it's filled with all the, I don't want to say Raw and SmackDown rejects, but, with the main roster people who just do better in NXT and all the new people need a new place to go.
Yeah. Well, back to the run sheet here. Let's talk AEW news here for a little bit. The Observer saying Chris Jericho is dealing with an elbow injury. It was previously reported that no one from the Inner Circle and Pinnacle suffered any injuries in the Blood and Guts match, but now the word is that Jericho, he did suffer a legitimate elbow injury. He was expected by some to be held off TV for a week or two to sell the big cage bump from the finish of Blood and Guts, but he appeared on this week's Dynamite with his left elbow taped up in a brace. He suffered the injury while falling off the cage, possibly a fracture of the elbow. No word how severe the injury is. If he's going to miss any ring time, I'm going to guess he's good to go for Stadium Stampede because he knew about the injury and he's still doing the match. But, Christy, for all of the jeers that Chris Jericho got about falling into that crash pad, man, it's got to sting even more when you actually hurt yourself doing it. Like that's crazy.
Or is this just Chris and AEW still just trying to save that awesome match by, kind of having us believe that he really did get injured? Like it must have been a real fall if he's really for real injured, right, guys?
Yeah, I look that puts a different spin on it. Like the fact that we were all making fun of Chris Jericho. Oh, I'm falling into a bed. Oh, right. The man actually got hurt doing that. And it should be remembered, too. Wrestling is very dangerous, even stuff like that. George Hermosa here. Great write-in. This is news because Jericho never gets hurt. And that's true. He's written about it. He's talked about it. Very few injuries in his career. He's always worked a very safe style. So Yeah, one of the few times here Chris has gone out and actually injured himself, and he tried to do a big move in the safest way possible, and he still got injured. So.
Well, but see, he's built that reputation for himself of never getting injured. So it would be very pro wrestling-y of him to use that reputation to now kind of help put over this match that people were kind of booing on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not sure I believe it, Nick.
Okay.
Keep me posted.
You think maybe not injured? You think workiness in the sheets is what you think? Okay.
Yeah.
You think Dave Meltzer would do that for Chris? Oversell his injury?
I think Dave Meltzer would do pretty much anything for any wrestler because he's just that despy.
Also from AEW, Pro Wrestling Torch, they reported first before Showbuzz Daily, but Wednesday's live edition of Dynamite drew 936,000 viewers on TNT. It should be noted that this was the 5th Dynamite episode unopposed against NXT. This AEW viewership is down 14.13% from last week's show, which did over 1 million viewers, just over 1.09 for Blood and Guts. This week's Dynamite did a 0.31 in the 18 to 49 key demo, down 26% from last week's 0.42 for Blood and Guts, which was, of course, the first week AEW was number 1 in the cable top 150. But overall, this week's Dynamite was up 43.1% from the same week in 2020. This week's 18 to 49 key demo was up 34.8% from the same week in 2020 as well. So, I mean, look, is it down a little bit? Sure, but from where they were a year ago, much, much higher. I don't know how you can think anything less than positive about that number, No,
and from where they were last week, when you're at the top, there's only one place to go, and that's down a little bit, and that's okay. They were number 1 in the cable top 150 last week. Not being able to maintain that means absolutely nothing. As far as I know, the same show, actually, it's pretty much the same shows on top 5 cable every week. But I mean, it's still huge for them, like you're saying. And when we can compare to last year, that is the biggest thing to advertisers, which is, going to keep AEW going, are they growing year over year? So, congratulations. Every show can't be a huge show. Last week was kind of a pay-per-view worthy TV. Even this week felt like a big show. But they're just, they can't do it every week. But I think as far as I'm concerned, they're doing a better job of making me want to tune in every week.
Yeah, I agree. I thought this week's Dynamite was really strong. Yeah. I mean, there was not a whole lot to dislike on that. I mean, SCO, big emotional moment with Christopher Daniels, Miro's winning the title, Cody's running for political office. I mean, what's not to like, So, no, and good for them. Good overall numbers. And you look at NXT, NXT's right back where they were during the height of the Wednesday Night Wars, just under 700,000 viewers. AEW, they've added 150,000 viewers here from where they were, during the Wednesday Night Wars. And these big pay-per-view shows and then rolling them back to the just kind of more normal shows, you're going to gains. I mean, but it's helping them find gains. I have a lot of good news there for AEW. Well, also, as noted earlier, the finish to the world title eliminator match between Pac and Orange Cassidy had to be changed after Cassidy was legitimately knocked out during the bout. PW Insider saying Cassidy said to be okay. He was socializing with a number of talents after Dynamite went off the air. The report added that Cassidy is expected to be good to go for his triple threat match against AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and Pac at Double or Nothing on May 30th. So great news. Just an update there for fans worried about Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. We wish him the speediest of recoveries.
And before we get off AEW here, let's see, man, we're getting a lot of write-ins here. Let's pick some write-ins here. At Ricky Zaldivar, a few week AEW is go same time SmackDown time. Okay, I don't even know what that means. I shouldn't have brought that up.
Ricky's got another good one. Just everyone wants to see the NBA games on ESPN. I mean, that might be true.
Yeah. Nerf Herder 26, my beer buddy. I liked the show a lot too, but there should have been more of a moment with the SCU breakup. Yeah, I absolutely feel like that should have been given a little bit more time to breathe. Anthony Y. How about NXT still getting low ratings? Sucks for NXT being on a night of NBA. Yeah, that's true. Competition.
But now they have another excuse. Like, they've capped out, man. It doesn't matter.
All right. Lastly, here before we get to the interview for those in audio form, Bret Hart tweeted Thursday night that he reached out to fellow WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair, cleared the air over some recent comments made by Rick in a recent interview with Conrad. Flair called out Hart for being constantly bitter and critical of others in the wrestling business. Now, Brett is very blunt, and he's Canadian, so you never know when he's making a joke. First of all, having worked with Brett, I mean, very difficult man to read. You don't know if he's happy or upset or angry. You don't know most of the time. But I'm happy about this, Christy. More burying of the hatchet between these veterans. I hate the squabbling between these legends. They're all made men. There should be a way to move past these kinds of issues with each other.
Well, yeah, and it's like, they're all going to talk. They're all going to do interviews. They're all going to tell the same stories over and over again. And maybe they're going to change some things to liven it up and all that sort of thing. But to hear that, behind the scenes at the end of the day, they're going to call each other and go, hey, bro, no hard feelings. Like that gives me some warm fuzzies. Because what Rick said was pretty hot. Like he went hard at Brett, which is fine. It's entertaining.
Yeah, but I've heard other people make those comments about Brett too. I mean, Eric says that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
So look, everyone just get along. All right, Phil, I'm Canadian.
That's how the world of pro wrestling is really interesting, when everyone just gets along.
Get along, guys. You're not working anybody anymore. This is your real life. You're outside the ring. All right, Phil, I'm Canadian. I take offense to that. I guess with my comments about Canadians, you never know how they're feeling because they're very dry. You know what? I don't take it back. I worked with Brett. That's an accurate statement.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, let me know if we're on the cancel Nick Hausman train, guys.
Sorry to my Canadian friends. I'll get Jimmy Corderas on next week. We'll talk to him about it. All right. That brings us to the end of the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to Katarina Waters and Scott Fishman for that great conversation that you just heard if you're listening in audio form. And again, that is going to be up over here on the YouTube channel in just a moment or two after we wrap up the live show here today. And of course, thank you, Christy, for this live news discussion we're doing here every day, noon Eastern, over on the Wrestling Inc. Channels. Today we're going to dive into the mailbag to wrap up the show at WInc Daily, WINC Daily. That is the account to follow if you want to find our daily polls, you want to find when new episodes go out, whatever. Follow us at WInc Daily. Today's poll question was rooted in this story. WWE has released a new retro-style promotional poster for Sunday's Universal title match between Roman Reigns and Cesaro. Now, Cesaro versus Reigns is expected to headline the WrestleMania Backlash pay-per-view as the top match for the Blue brand. The top match for Raw is, of course, going to be Lashley defending against Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre in a triple threat. And I saw this note, and first of all, the poster is very cool. I did a lot of traffic on the site, and a lot of people very interested in that poster. Did you get a chance to see it, Christy?
I haven't gotten a chance to see it. I feel like that's something that I should have sought out.
Yep.
Knowing that we were going to talk about it.
It's great. It's good. It's good. It's just a poster, whatever. It did a lot of traffic, but it got me thinking, man.
We're making a really big deal out of it, Nick.
It's a good poster. All right. So anyway, you all went and looked at it, so I had to reference here on the show, but it got me thinking, man, Backlash is Sunday. Like, did it creep up on you, Christy? Does it feel like there's a pay-per-view on Sunday?
Yeah, it does. Because it feels like there's one almost all the time. And there wasn't one last week. So
I think what threw me off about this was, first of all, the road to this show over on Raw has been ridiculous.
Right.
The way that this card has been put together on Raw has made zero sense. Also, with the SmackDown side of things, the Cesaro run into this pay-per-view has really only been like 2 weeks, because Roman was, he had the big match with Daniel, and then that was only like 2 weeks.
You weren't sure which way it was going to go. Yeah.
And then boom, now Cesaro is your number one contender. This is a big match for him. It's just been a really short build. It's felt like, I think, because of a few of those factors. So that's why.
Yeah. So I don't blame you for feeling that way, but I think, WWE, Cesaro, everybody knows that if they put him in the main event of a pay-per-view, that we're going to tune in. People don't need story to put their faith in Cesaro, right? To get behind him.
Yeah, and Carmine Vittorio here, at least they waited 5 weeks for another pay-per-view, which I agree with. They had time, but that's why it was still weird to me that they cut the SmackDown. They did a program for Daniel, I'm guessing, because you only had him for so many days, right? He's got his
right.
Up.
And they were probably hoping, to hang on to him and have him in the main event here.
Maybe. But anyway, it's felt a
We'll
little.
take it. We'll take Cesaro. It's fine.
That road to the road to this pay-per-view for Raw has just been ridiculous. So anyway, 160. We have about 200 votes here over on Twitter in the poll today. 75% of y'all voted for Cesaro Reigns runaway. Really, 12.5% Bianca Bailey, 9.4% the triple threat, and only 3.1% for some other write-ins, which we'll get to here in a second. So. Really, like a one-match show. People are excited about this Cesaro Reigns match. Bianca Bailey will be good. I am excited about that bout. The rest of the card just feels, I don't know. And these are always the shows that over-deliver. Like when I feel this way going into a pay-per-view, they're usually like a lot more fun than I expect. But this card,
yeah. But if there's just no story to back it up, if there's no kind of long-term investment, it's hard to pull it out at the very end. You know.
Yeah.
It's hard to day of go, well, that's okay. We're just going to put on a great show anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, jump into the comments here. We'll get to those in just a moment here. We'll hear what you all think. But let's read some of the Twitter comments first. At Smarking Down, El Phantasmo versus Josh Alexander for the X Division Championship. That's not on the show.
Sorry.
At the Buscat, back. Although I think the other matches will be better, I voted the triple threat match only because I don't know for sure who is going over, only that Braun is taking the pin.
Oh, okay. So you feel like there's some suspense there, an actual element of surprise.
I think Cesaro's got a shot here of beating Roman. I really do.
I love that you believe that, Nick.
Here's the thing. It's not crazy to me because last week, right? Again, last week, he beat up both the Usos and Roman to close the show, right?
True,
Looked like a complete badass. Had that been the go home to WrestleMania Backlash, I'd say no chance. No chance. They put him over to make him look good going into the pay-per-view, but he's going to lose. But they did it 2 weeks before. I bet tonight, Christy, those men are going to murder Cesaro. They are going to jump him and try to rip his arms off. And he is going to be walking into this pay-per-view.
And then he's going in not even at 100%. Oh. All right. Well, okay, I take back everything I said. There's a little story there. That could actually work, Nick. You should be placing some bets. Are you Vegas? Are you a betting guy? I think you could make some money.
I am a gambler. I'm a degenerate gambler, according to my girlfriend, Liz. But I don't gamble. I used to play a lot of poker, but I don't gamble anymore. But she got in on Doge when it was like 5 cents. And I remember at the time asking her, well, should I buy some Doge? She said, no, it's too much of a gamble. You're a degenerate gambler. You'll get lost in it. I didn't buy any. And now she's like banking on the Doge. And I'm like, Liz, I could have. If you didn't think I was such a degenerate gambler, maybe I could have got in on the Doge, you know.
Sugar Mama Liz.
She's got that Doge, got that sweet Doge money right now. I'd have sold it when it was at like 30 cents, and she hung on to it, and that was very smart on her part. So Anyway, at Star City Lab, none. They're just not excited about the show. And then there's a couple of other negative comments that are flagged at the bottom. So we will not read those. Let's see what y'all think.
We have some nice ones from our live viewers.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. All right. First of all, from Praddock, hey, Nick Christie, do you like to see Jinder Mahal versus Bobby Lashley Punjabi prison match at SummerSlam? Yeah. Sign me up.
Why the heck not?
Sure. Sign me up. Carmine Vittorio, RK Bro is the real main event. Are they challenging for the title, or like do they have a match for Backlash or no?
I mean, not to my understanding. Is he just hoping that they do a run-in? Maybe that'll be the kickoff to the new feud.
I'm pulling up. I should have looked at the full list here. We got the top title matches. Then we have. Oh wait, I got to turn off my ad blocker. All right, I'll allow this. I'll allow it once. I'm not going to allow it always. We got the title matches, Bianca Bailey, triple threat for the women's, Robert Roode and Ziggler versus Ray and Dominic, and then Damian Priest versus Miz lumberjack match. RK Bro's not on this show.
No, but do we think maybe we'll see them?
Probably getting high in the back.
I think you might be onto something there. Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, did you ever think about how you're like a snake and they call you the Viper? It's just like... Bro, think about it.
Randy doesn't bother to go to the back to vape. He just does it right out ringside.
Hey, your last name's Riddle. Like, do you know riddles? Because, like, I'm pretty high right now. I could do a riddle, you know? Anyway, that's my RK Bro impression. Anthony, thank you. Anthony Y. I'm still going with my prediction. Cesaro wins the Universal title, and Brian screws Roman for Cesaro to win. Oh.
Isn't Brian done? Like, aren't they hiding him and pretending like he didn't exist? Didn't they already cut him out of interviews and stuff when people are talking about him? Isn't he already getting that treatment?
They did do that. Like, I don't think Daniel Bryan's coming back. I think we're gonna see him pop up somewhere else. Maybe though. You could be right. Lady Wiz, I agree. This pay-per-view is going to feel a little bit blah. True. Jamie Williams, there's a pay-per-view Sunday. Who knew?
He's on your train with that one.
Sophie Dofi says, "Hi, Christy. You look beautiful as you did when you were doing both AfterBuzz TV and you were in WWE for that short run."
Aw, Sophie, nobody ever even remembers that. Thank you.
Let's see here. Wait, no, let's see. I'm trying to make sure I don't read something stupid here because a lot of good questions. A lot of good feedback.
I mean, we got some fun ones too. There's some people just trying to play with us live, and I appreciate that too. It's Friday.
Let's see. Pick somebody else.
We told them Fun Friday.
Jamie Williams, Bianca Bailey. Okay.
And that's the one I'm most excited for as well.
We answered the Punjabi prison question. Acer, is Nick gonna invest on cryptocurrency? LOL. Thank you, Acer, for chiming in. And I tried. I should have. I knew it was gonna go to the moon. All right, let's see here. Who else has jumped in here?
I think I need a money guy. Maybe he wants to be my money guy.
All right, I'll just read one more from Carmine. Only way Cesaro wins is if Jimmy costs Roman. And yeah, a lot of
happen.
Yeah, Jimmy's not on the same page. So we'll see. All right. Well, that brings us to the end.
Hey, you know what? All that talk kind of made me actually look forward to this pay-per-view this weekend. You know, people got some good ideas, and there are some things that could go down that are a little unexpected, and there's a little more story there than I was thinking at first glance. So, hey, it might be a good one.
Maybe Jimmy Uso gets on Daniel Bryan's shoulders. They wear a trench coat, and they both screw over Roman Reigns, you know?
Oh, God. Like a cartoon.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of the show here. Thank you so much for tuning into our first Fun Friday live edition. We're here Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, with the Wrestling Inc. Daily Live. And of course, the Wrestling Inc. Daily is available on all major podcast platforms. I'm gonna say mystery interview for Monday. I'm doing I have two big interviews. I did one this morning. I'm doing one this afternoon, and then Raj and I are going to figure out what we want to lead off with next week. So what I'm saying is Monday will be good. Tuesday will also likely have a big name. So get excited for next week. Of course, if you like the Wrestling Inc. Daily, support WrestlingInc.com. We are on all social media channels, and of course, the Wrestling Inc. podcast goes live here on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, weekends after pay-per-views, including this Sunday night after Backlash. Subscribe to the YouTube page, smash that subscribe, and subscribe to us on whatever podcast platform you use. Christy, what do you want to plug, promote, put over here to wrap up today's show?
Oh, this was so fun, and I want to thank everybody who came and joined us live. You guys can hit me up anytime at Christy Reports. Let me know what you're thinking about. Please subscribe to my channel, Christy Reports. Check out Bright Side of the Ring. And, also, if you love doing this live thing, Thursday nights live at 5 p.m. Pacific on the 83 Weeks channel. We do a Q&A with Eric Bischoff, so you can come and ask him your questions. And I'm heading off to Minnesota now, Nick, going to the family farm for the weekend. So I hope everyone, I'm planning on having a fantastic weekend, and I hope everybody else does too.
It's going to be beautiful here in Chicago. I'm certainly looking forward to a nice weekend. So I will echo Christy there. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will talk to you on Monday. And remember, if you winked, you didn't miss it. And we did.